All right, let's jump right in. Every great company, every brilliant inventor, they all hit the same wall. How do you take a really promising idea and turn it into something that's, well, a guaranteed success? Today, we're going to break down a framework that's designed to do just that, to take all that high-risk guesswork and turn it into a near certainty.
And that quote right there, it just perfectly nails the feeling, doesn't it? Launching something new is exactly like staring down an unknown fear. You're betting everything on something you think people are going to love, but you won't know for sure until it's way too late. And our story today is all about a company that knows this feeling all too well, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. So, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, they're an absolute giant in the magical mischief game, but they're stuck. Seriously stuck. Their whole future is riding on finding that next blockbuster product, their next golden snitch. The pressure is on, big time, and the way they used to do things, it's just not going to cut it anymore.
And look, this isn't because they've run out of ideas. Oh no, they can dream up amazing, fantastical things all day long. The real challenge, the thing that's keeping them up at night, is proving that a product actually has a real purpose before they pour a single galleon or a minute of time into building it. We're talking about their reputation and their financial stability just hanging in the balance here.
And that brings us right to the heart of this whole thing, the Alchemist's dilemma. It's this timeless business problem, right? How do you take a raw, unproven idea, which is basically lead, and magically transform it into a smash hit product, the gold, all without going completely broke in the process?
So, how did a company this brilliant even get into this spot? Well, to get that, we've got to look back. The way they originally found success was, frankly, legendary. But it's just not working for the company they are today. It seems like the old magic, well, it's starting to fizzle out. See, the company was born out of the rebellious genius of Fred and George Weasley, and their first hits, things like the skiving snack boxes, were just incredible. And why did they work so well? It was all pure gut intuition. They had this almost telepathic connection to their customers, mainly because their customers were their friends. They knew what people wanted, sometimes even before they did. And this is where it all comes to a head. The founder's way was all about that raw intuition, that deep connection with their friends, and that wild, rebellious spirit. But the company they're running now, it's a whole different beast. They need a repeatable process. They're dealing with scaled operations and totally new market demands. The game has completely changed. So what's the fix? They can't just rely on gut feelings anymore. This is where a brand new, structured framework comes into play. It's a series of 4 validation tests that are specifically designed to find that commercial gold and, most importantly, de-risk the entire process. The whole idea behind this framework is just beautiful in how simple it is. The point isn't to get a simple yes or no on an idea. It's about peeling back the layers of what your customers truly deeply want. With every single step you take, you get more and more certain you're on the right track. Okay, so here's how it builds. Step 1, you uncover the core need. What is the actual real problem people are facing? Step 2, you validate the concept. Is your idea for fixing that problem something they're even interested in? Then, step 3, you test the solution itself. Does the prototype you built actually work? Does it solve the problem? And finally, the big one, step 4, you confirm market demand. Are people actually willing to open their wallets and pay for this thing? Each step is designed to just systematically kill uncertainty. And what happens when you follow this process? Well, you fundamentally change the entire risk versus reward game. You're moving away from what is essentially high-stakes gambling and shifting towards something that looks a whole lot more like a calculated, confident, and smart investment. I mean, just look at this difference. It's staggering. An intuition-led launch, just going with your gut, you could be looking at a 90% risk of failure. 90%. You're basically betting the entire company. But by using this validation framework, you can crush that risk all the way down to around 15%. You're not just hoping for a hit anymore, you're actually engineering one. And that's the real secret here. The magic isn't in the initial light bulb moment. The real alchemy, the real transformation from lead into gold, is in the process. It's about having a system that takes that little spark of creativity and methodically turns it from a wild guess into a near certain success. Okay, so let's bring all of this back to you. The lessons from Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, they aren't just for magical joke shops, right? They apply to any project, any startup, any big idea you might be kicking around.
This is all about finding your next golden snitch. So, what's the big takeaway here? It means you should innovate with a structured, smart process instead of just winging it. It's about constantly asking, what's the risk here versus the potential reward, and balancing that brilliant creativity of yours with what the data is telling you. But honestly, if you remember one thing, it's this: deeply understand what your customer truly needs, and then prove there's real demand before you spend your precious time and money. And that really brings us to our final thought for today. I'm just going to leave you with this one question to chew on. What brilliant idea are you protecting with guesswork right now, just hoping it'll work out, instead of actually proving its value with a process? Think about it. Thanks for tuning in.